Okay, I'm JJW. Um, I'm gonna draw, and I'm this is my new-ish computer. I haven't really run Streamlabs on it since I bought it, so this is basically just to see if it will handle the stress of running Streamlabs while also running Clip Studio Paint. Should, but I don't know. So that's what's going on. If you're watching on YouTube, in the description below, you'll see some links to Cyberfrog action figure wave 1. I don't think there's a Cyberfrog comic campaign up right now, but you can go to eBay and search for Cyberfrog comics. I'm working on Cyberfrog characters that I'm doing in this piece. And I think I have a Reignbow the Brute, which is also by Ethan Van Sciver. So Reignbow the Brute, that campaign is still open. I think it's like $466,000. And I have Aaron Lopresti's Wraith of God, a link in the description below. So if you have a little dispensable income that you're not spending on gas right now, thanks, Joe Biden, then you consider backing one of these campaigns or some other cool creators. I can probably rattle off some if you ask a question. So I'm going to get back into this. I was going to stream earlier today, but, it's the 4th of July, and this is all about trying to find a little bit of time in the day to get this to work. So we're trying to do this for a little bit. If you haven't seen my, first of all, I'm not a professional artist. I'm a tech guy, but, I used to draw, and I know my way around a pen a little bit. So, where's my cursor? There we go. Got activity? Yeah, we do. So here's my working image. We have Cyberfrog. Let me rotate this for you. So we have Cyberfrog in the foreground of the image with his blaster arm configured. Somebody asked me, Weirdo asked me from Discord, he asked me if this is my IP. No, this is not my IP. This is, this property belongs to Ethan Van Sciver from All Caps Comics. And he's basically a character from the 1990s that was brought back in 2018, 2019, revitalized, perfected after 26 years of drawing for DC and Marvel, and now he's evolved to a modern style, a modern character, but it's definitely rooted in the 1990s, and it's in the blood. So in the background here we have I'm working on Salamandroid. This is Cyberfrog's big brother, and Salamandroid is chewing on a Vespus, which is an alien that looks not unlike a paper wasp or a wasp of some kind. So that is where we're at. This tool that I'm using, that I'm drawing in, is Clip Studio Paint EX, which I think you'll find is one of the most popular, if not dominant, programs used by real professionals, and it's affordable. They have a subscription price, they have a permanent license price, they have a pro license, and then this is the EX license, which is a little bit more, but it lets you do some extra, a little extra stuff. So if you're interested in drawing and you have a computer, obviously you can draw on pen and paper, but I'm married and have kids, and I need portability. So since I need portability, I need to have a laptop, and I need to be able to scoot around and turn it on, turn it off, and get going and stop. So I can't haul out pens and markers and paper and rulers and clear my desk. I can't do that. So I'm drawing with a digital pen. The laptop I have is an MSI Evo something. I don't know. It's pretty great for this application. It's decked out as much as a laptop can be, with memory and processor, and it's also only 13 inches. It's lightweight, so it's very portable for me. The body flips 360 degrees, so, or full, full flip all the way around, which means I could put it down on a table and use and write on it like it's paper or something like that. So it's very useful in that way, and it supports digital pens, which I have a couple, and I have some recommendations for digital pens. The one that comes with this MSI notebook is great. It's a Bluetooth pen. It's really good. And this pen is my favorite so far. It is the Renaisier, Renaisser. So if you have a computer that supports touch interface and supports, I think it's the AAC protocol, but there's two different protocols. This depends on your make of your computer or whatnot, whether or not it supports a stylus. I picked this up on Amazon for like $30, and this is a great pen. And one of the reasons is that the tips, it has multiple tip support. So there's a couple of different tips that you can have on in there. I'm satisfied with the normal one. But it also has on the rear end, sometimes they'll have like a Bluetooth button or, maybe nothing. Most of the time it's nothing. The pen that came with the computer has a Bluetooth button I don't really have any use for, but the Renee, I'm going to just call it Renee. Renaisser pen. It has an eraser bit, right? So this pen is, I guess it's Bluetooth, maybe, I'm not sure, but it writes on the screen, and then you can flip it over and erase on the screen, which is very natural if you're a paper pen, artist. You're used to drawing and then flipping your pen over and erasing. It's very, very, very convenient for that. So I love this. I love this pen if I'm on the go. But if I'm drawing in my house or my office, I have kind of a different thing at each place. But at my house, I have this, which is a wired tablet, no display. It's just a large surface area. It's like 11, 12 inches by 6 or 8 inches or so. And it has a non-powered stylus that goes with it, and which has no eraser, but the stylus is great. And the tablet gives you these cool function keys, so I can zoom in and zoom out. So you'll hear probably clicking quite a bit. And there's also like a hotkey that I have mapped for erasers and a couple of others. There's actually more keys than I can keep in my old man brain. But I know where zoom in and zoom out and eraser are. So, for instance, let's go down here to Heather, who I've been working on. So Heather is a background character in this piece, but she's, I'm working on redesigning her face. I'm not at all happy with her face. So I blue lined it. I'll just leave this scrubble in here for now. And I have drawn in kind of the orbital sockets, the nasal socket, and the cheekbones of where the skull would be, directed it up because in the context of the piece, she's down here at the foot. She's down here, way down here. It's going to be a very small figure, but I'm trying to get it as close as possible to what she looks like. For reference, I have this sub view here. So there's a reference image of Heather Swain. So we could dive down in here. You can't see because my face is in the way. So I'm afraid you can't see all the layer management I have going on. But I have some layer management going on. Here is the inks layer, which are here. Let me let me get this back to normal. Okay, so this is, okay. So here's our working image, which is our original. Well, I've modified it several times. It doesn't look too bad. I've redrawn the eyes a couple times, and I was trying to do this like smirk face, but I really kind of want to do more of a looking up and screaming something like "Go Froggy" or something like that. So like you know. And this is at a steep angle. I would say this is probably at 80 degrees of vertical, or 10 maybe 10 or 15 degrees off vertical, looking down at her as Cyberfrog leaps into the air. So this is a version with just kind of like a smile or a smirk or whatever, and she has this hatchet, and ultimately there will be like some parts of Vespa's laying around in here, which I haven't penciled those in yet. So this isn't too bad, but I kind of think that we can do better than that. So what I've got going on are some roughs with just enough to get a face structure in place, and you can see the face of the shape is the same. And let's get in here, make sure I'm on the right layer. Get on the right layer, get the right eraser. We'll just dive in here and scrub this out. This is take 1 or 2 of whatever. So what I've got here on a blue line layer, orbital sockets where the eyes go. I've obviously got the eyes layer turned on. I've got the nasal cavity sockets drawn in a little bit, and I've got the cheekbones layer more or less in line with where I've got a cheekbone mark as it stands. The shape of Heather's face is a little bit squared off, and honestly, I need a little bit better. Let's bring the sub view over to the right here. Let's do that. Okay, so I need I have one here, an image of Heather. Let me find. Let's see if I can find one. It's the one I want. This is the one I want. So I have that in here, I thought. It's Blood Honey 3. Yeah, there we go. This is the one. So we'll zoom in here. So Heather's face is a little bit square jawed, but she's got a curved chin. So angled from the top, that would still be slightly kind of squared a little bit. Her nose, I've gotten as close as I think I can get with her nose. And one thing to consider is that I'm not sure when in the timeline this picture would take place. At the time when Salamandroid was alive in the timeline, which was 1998, Heather would have been like 18. But in the current era, Salamandroid is dead and Heather is 38. So I don't know that they would all be fighting Vespas at any given time together, unless Salamandroid comes back, which I don't know. So not a little canon issue to deal with, but let's see. Let's go with Kelsey's pen. Got it down pretty small. And so here in my blue line alpha layer, I've got kind of like where the upper portion of the skull that holds the teeth. I'm not exactly sure which part of the skull that is called, but it's your upper jaw in place, and her teeth are open as you would be if you were like screaming or yelling, and that's to give that's so that I could kind of place in her jaw in there, so I could see if it was like open or what have you. So let's just take some cuts at this. So I'm going to rotate her face just slightly, just to get a little bit more comfortable. And Okay, so I'm observing the screen, but my hand is down on my tablet, and there's a little cursor which is very faint. You may see it or may not. But we have like I'm in the wrong color. No, I must be on the wrong layer. And, no, I'm on the right layer. I must be on the wrong color. All right. There we go. And just to be sure. Okay, here we go. Also, one feature of the um, wired tablet stylus that I like is that the button on there's a button available on where the thumb goes, and I can push that down, and I've mapped that to Control Z, so I can easily kind of like make a mark and undo, right? So I'm thinking the lips would be rather than Cupid bow shaped as they're kind of closed, it would be a little bit more stretched across the jaw as the teeth are exposed during a yell. Right? None of this is final. It's just for kind of placement. So now she has a Cupid bow, upper kind of upper lip. That would be flattened out slightly. This is good. I can see the expression here being sort of a jubilant, yeah, like she's happy that Cyberfrog's here. So here, let's put in the bottom teeth a little bit. Right? Bottom teeth. Just a little. And then the bottom lip. Would stretch up into this area. Oop. Undo. I don't want to give her too much of a Joker face, and this might be coming across a little too Joker. Definitely unattractive. Yuck. So let's see what we can do to work on this a little bit. Let's make her jaw or her bottom segment. Let's reposition that so that it's a little less horrendous looking. Let's move that up. Yeah, let's work with that for a minute. Uncancel. Oh, that's a shrinking. The shrink. I don't know if I wanted to shrink. There we go. And we'll just, again, teeth would be kind of like going back there. Hey, that's not looking too bad. And remember, the scale at which this is working at is super, super far away. I mean, we're talking about a figure that is almost not visible at that layer. So let's drop the rough ink out. And, you know, I'm thinking I like it better than this enough that I will go ahead and scrub out this old mouth. I think it needs a little work, but it's not too bad. Okay, not too bad. For instance, her kind of like too much here, so maybe we have like a scale issue slightly. So let's try that. Oop, cancel. Wrong there. Here we go. And let's just blow it up a little. Too much. We got nose in here? Oh, we do have nose in here. Cancel. Nope. Undo. Right, we'll try this. Now let's drop it down a layer, turn it blue, and clean it up. For a lot of this image, I have been using basic, very basic primitive shapes to, I mean, like some of this is rough hand drawn, but for the detail lines, I've been making quite a bit of use of curves and primitives. So we'll start with that. Oh, I can already tell I'm on the wrong layer. All right, and let's run the alpha down. Not in love with this, to be honest, but So this tool is a continuous curve, so you can add new plots along points along the path as you go. You see, I changed this into an angle point, and this is a curve point, and I can go in here and add curve point, kind of like smooth it out a little bit, and this allows me to really kind of control the shape. So here, okay, let's go here to here. Mm. Well, I don't know. I feel like I'm making some progress, and I feel like I've proved that Streamlabs can operate while I'm working in Clip Studio Paint. So, in terms of progress, I'm making a little progress. This is a really super fine detail that not I'm gonna probably dither over somewhat when I do a longer stream or have more time to work in detail. I'll probably dial into more into the Vespus that I'm working on here. Start working on some reflection or shading on the collar or shoulder plates of Salamandroid. Um, Cyberfrog's basically inked in with a couple of minor details left out. The last thing I was working on last night was the spine plate of Cyberfrog, so his spinal column. And I'm going to take that same uh, technique that I was using there, and I'm going to extend that out to his tail. So I guess the next, I mean, aside from working on Heather's face, gonna I need to work on the Southern Android tail for it to have like some extreme foreground interaction, and then background. It has some background interaction too, and so anyway, so I think our goals are accomplished for this little stream. I can't, I'm not really in control of my schedule all that much, so I can't promise regular streams, but my intention is to do Sunday afternoon streams while my kids are napping. It is fun for me to draw, and it's a little recharge my battery zone. Also, if you're not already, what's it gonna hurt? Yeah, subscribe on YouTube or on Rumble. I now have my URL, so it's rumble.com/JJW, but I can't live stream there, so it's getting copies of these YouTube videos at the moment. Please support independent comics, right? Like, comics are fun. And right now, I'm not happy with the content that is being produced by Marvel and DC. It's not stuff that I want my kids to ever read. So, but I still love comics. So support artists that will produce the kind of content that you want, that you're interested in, and that will produce the kind of content that you feel like is appropriate for your kids. If that's one of your concerns, if it's not one of your concerns, that's fine. You do you, boo. But I'm not drawing Spider-Man. I'm not drawing Batman. I'm not drawing major label characters because I don't know. They left me behind some time ago, and I just want I want fun stuff for my kids. This is too old for them. This is super bloody and graphic, but there's no agenda in anyway. It's just it's good fun. So comics are fun. They should be fun. You should be able to have a good time drawing and interpreting stories and stuff like that. So this is what I'm currently working on, and we'll pass it over to Ethan if he's interested whenever I get finished with it. If he thinks it's good enough to do something with, well, we'll see if we can do something with it. Otherwise, I'll probably paint it myself and maybe print a poster. We'll see how it goes. So this is taking a little bit longer, but let me tell you this. It's been like 20 years since I actually drew in paper and ink and spent a lot of time doing that. So all my skills are rusty, but I know a lot of that stuff that I'm supposed to be doing. So this streaming event is me getting re-familiar with the process and the tools and the techniques, and how do you hash and how do you render, and where do you make lines, and how are you doing art? How am I doing art? So if you tune in with me on Sunday afternoons, we can go through this together. I will relearn and remember how to draw, and I'll move on from this piece to some other stuff. But for now, this is my this piece is reminding me what it takes to compose a figure, compose an image, what I need to do to make reflections happen. We got a little bit of Bart Sears type reflection happening here. Whatever that was, I didn't do that. The detail, this is attention to detail for the design that Ethan has come up with for Cyberfrog's cabling and his cybernetics and whatnot. So I'm trying to get his design style and sense down to reflect that in the character. And then here we have a similar character, but it's got very different stuff happening in color and in rendering. So we'll try to. I'm learning, and you can learn too. You can draw along with me, and we might see if people want to just, I don't know, sit down and let's draw. I'm JJW. Hit subscribe. Follow me on Twitter or YouTube or